This new origin sun is expanding and you have multiple paths that you could choose. You can slow it down or try and embrace it for a fast track to the new crisis path, Galactic Hypothermia, where we get autonomous ships causing chaos and spreading flames, and we can also overclock Crucible. The crisis path can even be peaceful, but if you decide to be evil, you can bring the Galactic Firestorm by capturing and holding the 6 core systems once you finish the crisis path. Once that's done, you get a relic to seed new thermophilic life across the new volcanic galaxy. There's a lot to get into, so let's get into it. Red Giant and Galactic Hypothermia. Red Giant. The red giant at the heart of our home system has suddenly entered a phase of rapid and anomalous growth. Its energy output is increasing, but it's unclear exactly why. As we grow to understand exactly what's going on, we'll have to make the decision whether to halt or even reverse the process or be reforged in its flames. We have the first image here with quite a lot of information going on. So here's the origin information. The civilization is at a crossroads. The red giant at the heart of the system is warming up their planet, threatening to cook them alive. Can they adapt until the course is found and fixed? Or will they decide to embrace the heat, capitalizing on these strange and perhaps unnatural changes? We start with a volcanic world of size 20, a lot more than the other one, and we get 20% habitability to volcanic worlds. You can't be idyllic blue, Megarian idle, anglers, catalytic processing, biological, or aquatic, so any food things. We then have the starting screen with 2 of the new civics, a couple new traits, new portrait, volcanic world, and the origin, red giant. The truth came slowly, then all at once. Asar is entering a phase of rapid and anomalous evolution. Its energy output has climbed beyond all expected parameters. Spectral shifts indicate erratic convection patterns, and its fusion rate appears to be increasing without a corresponding loss of mass. That's very bad. So far, we have evolved in concert with this warming, but basic biological evolution has its limits. If the changes underway within Kaldarga continue, the world we call home will burn. There's no longer a question of if, but when. Then we start with this event concerning trends. We've long thought of Kaldarga as a typical red giant, but recent analysis indicates that its size and radiation emissions are increasing. These changes are already having a measurable effect on our climate, and the population is growing alarmed. The trends show no sign of stopping. Our species is to survive. We must investigate this cause of this phenomenon. We have 2 options: heat, calm, and downplay the problem. Then we must investigate this quickly. I imagine those have 2 different outcomes if you click them, but who knows. Then in the screenshot you do see the red giant with a red background. You have alloy deposits, 5 by the way, in the starting system. I'm guessing this is a custom start, so these will be consistent. Interestingly enough, there's 3 ships back there of 209 strength, but they have the battleship icon. I'm not sure if that's meant to be, because the shipset's still mechanical. Fabriquel looks nice. It'd be a shame if something were to happen to it. If you dare investigate the issue, you'll soon find that this is not in fact a natural occurrence, and that a twinned pair of subspace tunnels exist deep within your star. Another screenshot, of course, with stellar tunneling. That's a really cool image. The truth about Kaldarga is stranger than we imagined. Ongoing investigations have revealed a twinned pair of subspace tunnels deep within our star. One of these channels, hydrogen-rich material directly into the outer shell, accelerating fusion and increasing helium production. This should drive core compression, but the second tunnel actively siphons energy, countering the process. The result is the expansion of the star. Interesting that they needed that to balance the physics of it, but I'm not going to get into that. Initial telemetry from both subspace tunnels suggests they connect to multiple endpoints scattered across the galaxy. Our survival depends on investigating these as soon as possible. We'll need to investigate 3 of these locations. I wonder if there's like a bigger empire siphoning energy from people. That might be what it is. Red Giant expansion. The rapid changes in our star's emission threaten the stability of our homeworld. If this continues, Kaldarga will eventually go nova, atomizing the system. We currently have active effects in stage 1. We lose 10% species habitability cap, but we get more physics research and energy from jobs, which is quite nice. We then have 2 approaches: suppress unrest or disrupt subspace tunnels. If we suppress the unrest, the effects will give effective resolution is impossible amidst societal unrest. Priority must be given to restoring order and stability, which gives monthly growth 7 to the situation. Who knows what the other one does. And the finisher effect, by the way, Kaldarga will go supernova, which is not good if you're in that system. To be honest, surrounding systems, but that probably doesn't take effect. The situation's finisher effect sounds super. Yeah, it does. More approaches will appear as we learn more about the situation. Okay, so we might have alternative ways to slow it down or speed it up if you want to. We should do anything from reversing the stellar inflation to, well, adding fuel to fight. Why don't I not just read before assuming? If you're thinking about buying the Infernal Species Pack or Season 9, make sure to use mine or another creator's code or link. Mine's in the description and pinned comment, or you can use code EP4Stellaris at checkout. It gives us creators a kickback at no extra expense for you, and you get a Steam code from Paradox themselves. Now, back to the video. We have another screenshot here, the caption saying, I suppose we can try to figure out where the problem's coming from if we must. So a bunch of situations around, and the science ship is currently doing one of the triangulations because it did want 3 of them, right? As the situation advances, there'll be opportunities to exploit the phenomena or to hide behind our scientists begging them protection. Another screenshot, we have stellar expansion, ongoing observations that Kaldaga is expanding at an accelerating pace. Physical effects from the increased radiation are also being reported. Unless we can find a way to stop it, Kaldaga will eradicate us long before it consumes the planet. Protecting against stellar radiation can buy us more time. More hazardous but potentially lucrative scheme would be to harness the increased radiation, boosting our energy and industrial sectors. Can protect our homeworld or exploit it, which then gives the special project to do with them. And I'm guessing on the right is the 2 different outcomes, or maybe this is just exploiting actually. We have the unstable giant, which lowers habitability's cap habitability, minimum habitability. It gives us 20% physics and 10% energy. And then when we maximize the solar output, we get 30% physics from jobs and 10% energy, but none of the negatives. This is fine. As the star grows, the planet modifiers may change. Okay, interesting. We have changing modifiers. After triangulating the source of the disturbance and dealing with them, I was playing as Scorchwood Heralds for this playthrough, so it didn't go so well for them. Scorchwood Heralds is the aggressive civic. We'll open up more options from reversing the process to accelerate it. We have many screenshots today. Subspace mining operation. The station siphons hydrogen from a gas giant and channels it through subspace into our star's shell. The resulting helium fusion releases excess energy, which is converted into crystallized entropy to power the station. The instability of Caldara is a result of calibration errors and equipment degradation that the inhabitants either didn't notice or didn't know how to fix. Working with their ancient technology, we can reverse the process, but it will not be easy. Alternatively, forcing our star to go nova could expose countless deposits, transforming our heritage into a trove of exploitable resources. It's time to get to work. Okay, so you can literally force the expansion. You can see we have the active effects. Still is the same in stage 2, but we have more approaches, which I believe are completely different to before. There's continued siphoning. We can use this power to incinerate our home system, allowing us to sift through the remains for riches. 50 monthly growth, which is quite insane, and we'll gain 10 physics and 20 dark matter a month with a 10 energy upkeep. There's also stabilize the star, cease activity, and reverse inflation. So a lot to choose from there. Is that really the best idea? Probably not. So we continue siphoning. We get this other screenshot where we have a massive star. I love how the star expands. You can also see the wormhole, whatever it was, putting stuff into it. A hungry star. Kaldaga has claimed its first major victim, engulfing the innermost world of our system. Although the raw materials still exist, they now lie beyond our reach in the fiery depths of the star. While we can weather the immediate economic loss, this provides a frightening glimpse of what awaits Farragut. Yeah, look how close the sun is to your planet. Stop feeding it. Goodbye, Vapaquel. We'll miss you. Completing, in inverted commas, the situation in this manner will grant us a beautiful light show and a shortcut to galactic hyperthermia. So there's a fast track to the new crisis origin, a spark of crisis. Ongoing study of the subspace mining station suggests that it stores massive amounts of thermal energy in an exotic form, which our scientists are calling crystallized entropy. It leverages thermal feedback loops to magnify energy inputs. By replicating this technology, we could learn to wield previously unimaginable power that many would deem unnatural and dangerous. Doing so may produce vast amounts of excess heat, but if we are able to find a way to thrive in such conditions, the galaxy may be ours for the taking. Let's investigate this further. We get a specimen and enables the adoption of the Galactic Hyperthermia Ascension perk. Uncovers crystallized entropy to progress galactic hyperthermia. We could also say no, and that the technology is too dangerous to pursue. That brings us nicely to Galactic Hyperthermia. I will continue this playthrough by taking Galactic Hyperthermia. It's my first Ascension perk. A little perk for blowing up my sun. I wonder if their planet still exists, or did they have to settle elsewhere? Of course, a new screenshot. We have the Galactic Hyperthermia Ascension perk. This universe began in fire, but has cooled down into a dark and hostile place. To thrive, we need to turn up the heat, even if others must perish. A new power. Our scientists have analysed the crystallized entropy once used to ignite a red giant. an act that nearly ended our civilization before it began. We can now re-engineer the volatile substance to bind and transport vast thermal energy for industrial, economic, and stellar scale use. Wait, so we have a new resource? Or is it just the crisis resource? Simulations suggest it may enable terraforming into hotter climates, or trigger a stellar evolution into red giants. In theory, ambient galactic entropy could be reclaimed and converted into heat, driving systematic thermal expansion. Issues the new special project, new power source. Another event, crystallize achieved, event chain, galactic hypothermia. With our existing samples of crystallized entropy, we can harvest and synthesize them without endangering our home star. These crystals hold immense thermal energy, allowing our industry to store and transport power far more efficiently than conventional methods. Red giants, thanks to their vast emission, surfaces, and thermal output, are ideal for this process, and we're ready to deploy the technology in any system under our control. Our technicians have also begun adapting the process for industrial use, experimenting with ways to synthesize crystallized entropy by harnessing ambient entropy. With this new economy igniting, wealth and power are sure to follow, and scientists are already researching how to scale production further. Unlocks the megastructure Galactic Crucible frame. We must begin the construction. All it cost was 80% habitability cap on my homeworld, and a little bit, okay, a lot of devastation here, I can imagine. Then we have the mega screenshot of the crisis perks. Let's break down the first section of this in crisis level 1. Level concern, they've maxed out resources, so they have a lot of crystallized entropy. That's the new resource they were talking about. To actually get this, you need to own volcanic worlds, create volcanic worlds, own red stars, create red stars, planetary arson, what the heck is that? Disrupt ships, again, no idea what that is, and own gravitational centrifuges, and no idea what that is either. So in the first stage we have crystallized entropy, which allows the accumulation of crystallized entropy by completing crisis objectives. This marks a breakthrough in controlled energy destabilization with a volatile resource at our command. It can reshape the galactic order itself. So this crisis is all about entropy. Then we have entropy hardening, which unlocks the edict entropy harnessing, which we don't know what it does, I believe. Integrating crystallized entropy synthesis into our industry allows a far more efficient use of this volatile resource, aligning our technical focus with strategic goals. Maybe we can use the resource to buff industrial stuff then. We then also have the Galactic Crucible, the megastructure. The proposed crucible should serve as a central engine for harnessing stellar entropy. With this ability to crystallize and transport it, the crucible could become a beacon of a fiery power, spreading it across the stars. At stage 2, we get Radiant Ambitions, which gives us an extra megastructure build capacity. Being the spark that ignites the galaxy leaves no time for second guessing or bureaucracy. We can't afford to lose time remodeling countless systems. To achieve our goals, we must dramatically increase our construction capacity. We then get Concentrated Entropy, which unlocks a new ship type, the Conduits. This crisis pass does have new ships. Conduits are automatically created by the Galactic Crucible. Whoa. And will travel to nearby star systems. So we're already seeing this crisis path unique to the others, which is nice. Colonies within a targeted system receive bonuses. They're equipped with the X-Slot Lens Paralyzer weapon, which disables enemies on impact for several days. Well, that's the disrupting ships objective. Conduits are vital to expanding our power at the stage. Crucible output will accelerate our march towards a brighter burning future. Forced ignition effects enables the overclocking of the Galactic Crucible chassis megastructure. What? Overclocking? I hope they tell us about that. Sometimes pushing harder isn't enough. We need to take our technology to the next level and exploit its full potential. It's time to minimize safeguards and maximize output. At crisis level 3 danger, we get the Ember Cruiser. We just unlocked the Ember Cruiser. Equipped with cutting-edge technology, these vessels convert volatile heat flux into directed annihilation, reducing our enemies to charred cinders. We also get Coronial Venting. Conduits deal passive damage to hostile ships and stations. Wait, so that's the other ship type, so you can like stun them basically, and then just do passive damage. That's quite funny. And construction time goes down by 10. It's at 10 days. Probably. We also get Engulfing Flames, which gives us the terraforming decision for volcanic worlds and unlocks the bombardment stance Firestorm. It also gives us a 30% orbital bombardment damage. The utopia we envision leaves no room for opposition to our goals. Any who try to stop us will quickly learn that Renaissance will be met with a rain of fire upon their homeworlds. Is that planetary arson then? the objective, potentially. At stage 4 Calamity, we get 30% sublight speed to the Ember Cruiser and Battleship, which we haven't even unlocked yet. Harnessing crystallized entropy in military tech unlocks propulsion systems of unparalleled power. Our ships will blaze across the stars like never before. Speedy ships, I like that. Also get artificial solar flare. Conduits automatically cross the border into enemy territory, and it reduces the conduit construction time by 10. There's a period where parts of the galaxy lay beyond our grasp. The illusion is ending soon. Swarms of our conduits will saturate the stars, bringing calibrated devastation to all who oppose us. So does that mean they close borders does not work against them at that stage? That's quite funny. It's only conduits though. It seems like these are like automatic ships too that you don't control, but we'll see. Blazing Armada. Metagalus and researchers increase naval capacity. Oh dear. That's very strong. War exhaustion gain minus 50%. Naval capacity per 100 researchers plus 1. Naval capacity, I'm presuming, per 100 Metagalus, also plus 1. That's dangerous for lag reasons, but the galaxy will be ended soon, hopefully. As the galaxy consolidates against us, mobilization becomes imperative. Every citizen must now contribute to sustaining the energy front, fanning the flames of our ascendancy. And then the final level, we get the Ember Battleship. This battleship can also equip the Lens Paralyzer weapon. With gun barrels as hot as Firestorm that is about to engulf the galaxy, these large ships will make up the bulk of our defensive forces around the Crucible. Critical mass. Conduits become stronger dependent on the amount of captured systems. Oh dear. 20% of the galaxy. Conduits deal devastation to nearby colonies. Affected colonies will slowly lose pops. Only affects empires of non-infernal species. And you need 121 systems. That's just telling you how many is 20% of that galaxy, because it's different depending on the size. Also lowers construction time by 20. Jeez. Okay. Increasing the entropic activity in a star's outer shell causes the star to pour forth a swell of radiation. This is causing entire systems to heat up more rapidly. And finally, we have an infused ammunition, which means our ship weapon damage from our cruisers and battleship go up by 25%. Refinement in munition design. Standard ordnance is now augmented with microscale entropy cores, releasing destabilized thermal surges upon impact. The result is markedly enhanced destruction. Seems like a fun crisis path. It's still a kill-all one, but it has seemingly unique mechanics, especially with the conduits and overclocking and stuff like that. We'll see what it does. The Galactic Crucible is the core of the hypothermia. We have that screenshot here. It looks incredible. That looks insane. You can upgrade it for 5,000 of the resource, and it will take you 10 years. I don't know what it will give when you upgrade it though. Maybe it builds the stuff more, we'll see. As the original Become the Crisis gives you more minerals and energy, right? And naval capacity. Upgrading this megastructure, why do I not read? Allows it to deploy entropy conduits. That's what it does. Automated systems designed to channel and amplify stellar entropy. So we were right, they are automated, but they do damage and stuff. Much like those poor fools from earlier in this dev diary did by accident to your home star, you can intentionally intensify stars, turn them into red giants, to support your empire's expansion. Conduits are completely autonomous and are produced at regular intervals. To start with, they will remain within territory you control, but in time they will spread across the galaxy. By default, the Crucible produces crystallized entropy and increases your naval capacity. So the upgraded Crucible spawns the conduits, produces entropy, and increases naval capacity. We have a look at the entropy conduit here. It's a 1.2k. It's actually classed as a starbase, but it moves because it's automated, and it will just move around, I guess. It is so cute. The Force Ignition Crisis perk allows you to overclock the Crucible, selecting different options. Oh, this looks sick. The Galactic Crucible has an UI within it, megastructure and overclocking tab. We're in the overclocking tab. Through strategic overclocking, this megastructure may exceed standard operational limits and unlock unique effects. Currently, it's reducing conduit construction time by 20 days. But we have 4 different selections. We're currently on overcharge, which is giving that construction time. There's probably a standard that doesn't do much. And the overclock has a 50 entropy upkeep. However, they're hovering over the mode production, which instead of buffing conduits, you can get more of that resource every month, 50, for a 45 alloy upkeep. There's also a mode that looks like it's buffing ships, so maybe it buffs the ship output, like maybe, who knows. Unlike the other crisis, Galactic Hypothermia does have an opportunity to temper their ambitions. Interesting, okay, that's very unique. How hot will it get? Event chain. galactic hypothermia. A continued research into crystallized entropy has unveiled a chilling possibility. When highly concentrated, they can power weapons of unimaginable scale, capable of devastating entire planets. With such power, the galaxy could fall under our mercy, but exploring these military applications would shatter what little trust remains between us and our neighbours. And who's to say such weapons couldn't one day be turned against us? Empty words of peace will not suffice. If we wish to prove our intentions, we must publicly cripple the Galactic Crucible core, ensuring it can never produce such weaponry. Otherwise, it's only a matter of time before this technology is weaponized. By us, by someone else. Okay, that's actually sick. You don't have to kill the galaxy. This decision unlocks a special project. You can fan the flames of war, or let us temper ambitions. Or hovered over temper ambitions, which prevents access to the crisis level calamity, which, if you remember, calamity is level 4, so we never actually unlock the sublight speed, more conduits, the naval capacity, the battleship, conduits being stronger in your weapon damage. You'll just be stuck at level 3. You'll issue special project unforeseen correlation to turn the Galactic Crucible core into a Galactic Crucible Institute. Into the fire. Our investigation into crystallized entropy and the designed Firestorm project has confirmed what we suspected. The potential for devastating weaponry is real. With such power in our hands, we no longer need to temper ourselves for the sake of diplomatic niceties. The Galactic Crucible hub's expansion will accelerate, with special focus on its more aggressive applications. The sooner we unlock these weapons, the less the galaxy's opinions will matter. So this is the aggressive stance, which turns the megastructure into the Galactic Crucible, with us ready ourselves for war. They did not pick the nice option. They did not. Ember cruisers and battleships become available at various points in the crisis path. They're similar to standard cruisers or battleships, but gain additional benefits from the hypothermia perks. They cost crystallized entropy to build, and are also reefed in flames, which is pretty hot. The Ember battleships can equip the lens paralyzers that the conduits carry, so you can get more entropy resource. We see the battleship here, which looks cool. They're just going to buff. Basically, they're not going to be too unique mechanically. Completing the Crucible does not snuff out the galaxy, but it does begin the final phase of your plan. Oh, so the end of the crisis path is not the end of the crisis path. Interesting. With the Crucible complete, you can secure access to 6 staging systems around the galactic core. Deploying conduits in all 6 systems and letting them do their work will allow you to reforge the entire galaxy at once. We have a suspicious looking hexagon here, and then we have mobilization. A mastery of crystallized entropy will soon allow us to begin a radical transformation of the galaxy. We've opened wormholes to 6 systems around the galactic core. That's the hexagon. If we establish conduits in each of these and defend them from anyone who would meddle with our plans, we'll be able to set the galaxy itself ablaze. Okay, this is quite a cool ending thing. It's very different to the other stuff. We have approach, face the fallout. We have another screenshot here of another situation. Galactic Firestorm. We envision a blazing utopia, but to create it, we must incinerate everything that stands in our way. We've lit the first sparks and must now stoke the flames until every corner of the galaxy has been consumed. It says how many captured core systems we have. There's currently no active effects. We're feeling the fire, and there's 4 stages. If we succeed, a rain of fire will consume the galaxy, leaving only those who have embraced the heat standing among the ashes. Not even the stars are immune. After billions of years, they will be reshaped in the image of our home star. Chaos. Just need to hold out a little bit longer. Galactic hypothermia does have a little bit of an epilogue. After cleansing the galaxy in flame, if you choose to continue playing, oh that's cool, you'll receive a relic that can seed thermophilic life suitable for the new tempered galaxy, the crystallized singularity. Passively, you get 10% physics research speed, you get an active effect, crystallized singularity modifier added for 10 years, you get energy weapon damage 10% and fire rate 10%, research speed 5% to engineering, and 10% of your physics research income will also generate energy credits. That's also, so you just get free energy. And it unlocks the life-seeding decision on colonizable worlds to create a new primitive civilization. So you could recreate a galaxy and fight like the Crisis or something. That's pretty cool. In terms of what's happening with the 2.3 betas and performance stuff, 4.2.0 beta should soon be up on the Stellaris test branch. This build currently consists of architectural changes to modify application and threading, so performance increases. We do not expect significant improvements from these changes by themselves, but as I mentioned last week, they're necessary to create the foundation for the 4.3 performance focus. So a lot of background stuff, maybe slight improvements, but this is mainly 4.3. The 4.3 changes are currently being worked on, and some have made it into the closed beta. This week, a number of economic changes hit them. The biggest change likely being us moving away from upkeep reductions being so prevalent and trivial to stack, including colony designations, replacing many of them with job efficiency. This is probably good because I think upkeep reduction is way better than pure output, because with job upkeep reduction, you need less filler jobs like minerals, consumer goods, and you can go more power creep. But now you still need minerals and consumer goods to get more alloys and research, but their output just gets buffed instead. Currently doing a pass on those as well, so stacking doesn't get quite as nutty as before. On the ship front, we've buffed frigates again, and we continue to gather data on the overall impact of the changes, but it's looking positive. Next week, we're almost there. Next week, we'll have the Infernals and 4.2.0 Corvus release notes. See you then. Click here to watch the video. Goodbye.